then you're going to want to start to do what basically are called butterfly coil, and I think of them like big hound dog ears, okay? So for myself, you can either hold this in your hand, which is what I like to do. I don't like putting a dirty rope over my shoulders, over my helmet. I'll show you the way to do that because a lot of people do it that way too. I take a full wingspan, and then I bring and I set this into my strong hand, my right hand. I'm making like one side of the butterfly wings, okay, of the hound dog ear. I then grasp this side tight, and I do the same thing. This hand's always going to be my strong hand. This hand's always going to be my wingspan hand, okay? Pull. This time the ears are going to go on the other side. Do you see what's happening there? So I never have a coil. It's never like it's not like you're, wheeling up an electric rope or anything like that, okay? So I'm going to continue to do that motion. Kind of cleaning my rope as I go. There might be little kinks in it. Okay. Now, for some people, their hands don't feel big enough or maybe strong enough to coil a full 60-meter rope. Okay? So the other thing that you see people often do, or you might just see people do this, is they will take this coil over their neck, their shoulders like this. Okay? And then what they do, wingspan, flip it over your neck. Okay? Wingspan, flip it over your neck. Wingspan, flip it over your neck. Okay? So this is another way you'll often see people do the same coiling method. There are some advantages to this. You don't have to hold it in your hand. It's just personal preference. What really is important about this coil is how you finish it, not necessarily how you get it to the finish. Okay? No, so at this point, if you do it over your shoulders, you've got to take it back off. Okay? You take the strand that you had ended, or that you had started your coil with, and you're going to take and you're going to wrap this around both sets of ears. You're going to pull it tight. You're then going to wrap this part. This is important. You want to X it over. So if you start low, you want to do your X high. You're going to put in about 2 to 3 wraps around the rope. And if you have small hands or kind of a short wingspan, this may be frustrating for you at first. The more that you practice with it, the easier it will become. And know that people get ropes kinked up and knotted up. It's just part of dealing with a rope. Okay, so just be patient with yourself. So I usually put in about this many parallels, so it ends up being 6, which is 3 wraps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach through this top part. I'm going to take a bite of rope through and make sure it goes through all the coils. Take this other end, so this is the end that's attached, and I'm going to, this is called a girth hitch that through my bite. Okay, so this is the Mountaineer's coil. What this does for you then, like if I were to go up and clean up at the top and I need to hike down, this becomes a backpack. It goes over your shoulders, wraps around the back. And you can then, if you have enough, you could do a double wrap. Then you could tie it off. You now can hike with your climbing rope down from the top of the climb. Okay?